mic. One more mic we'll need here. Before we start, there are some people leaving early. When are you leaving? 9th. And when are you leaving? Tomorrow, okay. So both of you can come and share some highlights of your stay here, of what you studied, etc. Who wants to go first? And what have you done with the other half of the class? Where is everybody? You want to come? Come. 5 minutes, short. She has come well prepared. Karthik bhai.
Thank you, Swamiji, for this opportunity. First, when you suggested to do this, the first thought it was, in front of all people. But now, after doing this work, I see the value. It's more clarity in my reflection. So I'm very grateful to share this with you. The teaching Shastra is saying the most desires. Self-knowledge means recognizing I am Brahman. It is only God. It is the knowledge of non-duality, no inner conflict, no more searching. Shastra helps us to see that we human beings have two kinds of desires, uncultivated and cultivated. Uncultivated desires, hunger, thirst, to be healthy, to have a clean body, and not the last, the urge for this knowledge. They are given to us. Hunger is given, also the food is given. Thirst is given, the water is also given. The illness is given, also possibility to cure the disease is given. The urge for this knowledge is given, also Shastra Vedanta is given. This fact helps us to recognize the intelligent order. The cultivated desires are different. We are cultivating them through repeating exposure to them, which gives addiction. I want to discover in myself a non-wanting person. Only we, human beings, have the privilege of free will within the body, intellect, the decision-making quality of the mind. I can change my attitude and my behavior, and this is free will. I can change the habitual orientation, the wanting, lacking, complaining person. I have this privilege. To change this, I need to recognize the habitual orientation and decide full stop. When I'm doing what needs to be done by me, I get an inner peace and recognize the order, the law in me. As a result, I can acknowledge and enjoy the wanting free person in me. Through observation, I can see the time-bound limitation of the result of my accomplished desires. The teacher is teaching us about sadhana. Shravana only is given knowledge. Manana is helping to remove the doubt that is covering the knowledge. Nididhyasana, the meditation upon the meditator, is helping to remove the habitual orientation, deliberately enjoying the knowledge again and again using Shastra's words. In the blink of an eye, the object appears. Trying to grasp Brahman, the eyes blink. But the eye of the eye never blinks. Consciousness is the seer of the seer without any absence. Neither object, neither subject, it is the truth of both subject and object. It is never away from you. It is you. Tat Tvamasi. Om Tat Sat. Thank you.
Very good. Wonderful. आइए, come. Hari Om.
Hari Om to everyone. Actually, I have no words to show my gratitude. It's a very emotional journey for me. I'm just here to visit Rishikesh, and with the grace of Swamiji's and Swaminiji, I'm here, and this is my first step. So I have some very point-to-point takeaways. One, that it's you, it is a self-knowledge. So we have to find the answers of questions if we have. And there is no need to go for, I always think that there are so many spiritual shopping these days. So this is not that field, always dedicated towards your teacher. First, you should believe in that. So Shraddha is already in my life, and I believe that if Shraddha is there, then you will find the grace of God and teacher will find you. So in my case, I dedicate this whole journey that it is 100% Swamiji and Swaminiji's grace that I am here. Now, I have first thing is that you should have clear thinking. If your thinking is clear, then you can nurture your emotions, and if your emotions are deep, then you can take right step. And one thing which is I want to part of my life, that is meditation. One, that is very helpful to make yourself peace and calm in your working, and that also enhance your ability to think in a right manner, which also leads you towards मैं अपनी भाषा में बोलूँ तो गुरु चरणों की तरफ आपको लेके जाता है. मेरी जो श्रद्धा है, मेरी जो आस्था है, मेरा जो डिवोशन है, that is more towards teachers now. Initially I was taking some examples here and there. Now I understand that when you are sitting in front of the teacher, then this vibration is different, that atmosphere is different, and this sitting in front of teacher is amazing thing. That is very important part of life. So I want to be more silent, just focus on these three things, that you have your clarity in thinking, and second, you have deep emotions. Whatever emotions you have, it is not possible that we can remove them in 1 or 2 days, and just take action and always consult with your teachers. So I keep consulting Swamiji and Swaminijis and try to find answer with myself, because it is a self journey, it is a Atmavidya, and we should go with the help of teacher with our own efforts. Hari Om.
Very nice. Wonderful. Who else is leaving before the Kavya is leaving, right? Yeah. You want to say something today or tomorrow? Maybe tomorrow. Okay, no problem. Anybody else leaving early?
Still don't know, but I need to leave still.
Don't know. Okay. Anybody else? Who? Yeah, when are you leaving, Leo? Friday. Okay, okay. So this is what we'll do in the satsangs. Whoever is leaving early, starting tomorrow, can just give their takeaway, what they have studied here and what they are taking back with them. They can share. 1 or 2 people can share each time. Okay? Those who are leaving early. Om सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Online they are saying the volume is less. I don't know why. They said that, I'm just communicating. I don't know the reason. Because here I think everybody can hear, but on the YouTube it's not audible as much as before. Huh? That's what they said. After you came back from Vietnam, it is soft. That's what they said on YouTube. That's the feedback I'm getting. I don't know why, but we'll see. He will know how to fix it. Tadha Tadvanam Nama Tadvanam Ityupasitavyam Saya etadevam Veda Ha enam Sarvani bhutani Abhisamvanchanti. Yeah. So, this is a very important verse for sadhana. Very beautifully done, beautifully said, and we are looking in the middle of it, and how to look at oneself from the standpoint of this upadhi, from the standpoint of the body mind sense complex. There is bheda, difference. Paramarthikataya abheda, no difference from the standpoint of consciousness. Because the consciousness in one body and the total consciousness, there is no space, no time, no separation. Just like room space and outside space, there is no separation, there is no division. The division is mithya, but that we don't know. That is the thing. As we are studying this, that the division is mithya is not understood, and therefore verses like this help us to prepare the mind and prepare the heart. And here, Tadvanam means the most adorable one, that Brahman must be related to in the form of the most adorable one. The most adorable one, it must be looked at. And why is this important? Because two reasons, and the phala of this is also important to look at. So first, there is the supplication. The word namaha, surrender, supplication, a cry for help, a call for help. Where do you seek help? First of all, when do you seek help? When one is helpless, one seeks help, that is clear. Where do you go for help? If you go to somebody else, then in the Jagat, they will also be needing your help. Or they will be unable to help after some time. So, going to the source on the very, very surface level phala of this upasana is that going to Ishvara means you are seeking help in the right place. And what is the right place? You are seeking help from somebody who doesn't need your help. That is the correct place. Otherwise, what's the use? You seek help, and before you seek help, the other person says, okay, I also want this. You don't feel helped at all. So on one level, it erases the divisions by understanding that, by my own understanding that I need help and I am seeking help from Ishvara, which is the source. There is a relief. The ego is happy because I have prayed, I have done everything in my power, I have taken this to another level, and I have made myself more available to bridging this gap. So this is one phala of this knowledge, of this sadhana. Then another phala on a deeper level is what is happening in the antahkarana as a result of saying namaha, 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 one way of doing this sadhana repeatedly. In the Sri Rudram there are 300 namahas. 300 namahas are there if you count in all the 11 anuvakas, and so that's not an ordinary thing. So there is all the namavalis are based on verses, on mantras like this alone. So in this what happens is that the individual who believes herself, himself to be finite is plunging into the infinite, so to speak, and the finitude gets erased. Momentarily, yes, but it's an important erasure to experience. Just like if you sing bhajan with everybody, because of the bhajan there is a mixing of the individual ego with the total, and so therefore the complaints cease for some time. There are no more complaints, at least for the time being. Here also, in repeatedly chanting the namavali, what happens is that there is more inner space, there is more objectivity, there is more preparedness, and there is less fear. There is less fear. What is that in the Taittiriya Upanishad? It says, Anandam Brahmano Vidvan na bibheti kadachana iti. Kadachana na bibheti. Does not get afraid at any time. Why? Because there is the umbrella called Ishvara. All the mantras come and help me. They comfort me. All the puja that I have done comforts me. It's like a blanket. What does the blanket do? Not electric blanket, regular blanket. What does it do? Your own body heat, it collects and then gives back to you. Same thing here. In this practice, first of all the punya that you get in chanting Bhagavan's name, why Bhagavan's name gives punya? Because while you are chanting 1008 names, you are not thinking of robbing a bank. That's why it gives punya. Simple. You are being present. You are doing good karma. And so, not only do you get punya, but you also get peace of mind, and that peace of mind belongs to who? Not Ishvara, it belongs to you. But in this process it is activated, and like a blanket of protection, like the blanket which draws your own body heat and gives it back to you, like a comforter, like a blanket, this upasana, this practice of Tadvana upasana, this practice of understanding Bhagavan and relating to Bhagavan as the most adorable one, as the infinite source of everything, makes me strong. And don't think that, oh, I'm submerging my ego in Bhagavan. At least I was the owner of few things. Now I don't even have those few things. Don't think like that. Because what you are submerging is that which was small. What you are getting now is all. So we have to remember that. And then the final phala of this upasana is given by the Upanishad itself. Yaha evam veda sarvani bhutani asmin sarvani bhutani abhisamvanchanti. Something very interesting happens to the upasaka who is always saying namaha, namaha, who is always one with everything, and who is always there and humbled as a result of this practice, and the antahkarana cleansed. Something interesting happens. What happens? The Upanishad says, your friend list grows. Everybody wants a piece of you. Everybody says, where are you, where are you, I want to be your friend. The number of likes on Facebook and other social media also grow. Why? Because such a person becomes the most sought after. Abhisam vanchanti. Vanchanti means people want this person to be by their side all the time. Why? Because repeating the name of Ishvara all the time, Ishvarizing the universe all the time, the person becomes Ishvara-esque. The bhakta and the object of bhakti, they are one and being one and the same. So this much bhakti which is done without expecting anything and with the help of this knowledge, etc., there is a certain kind of an attraction for everybody else. Because truly, everybody wants moksha. Whether they know it or not, people want moksha. And when they see somebody who is relatively cheerful, which is the avantara phala, a surprise, result of this practice, if they see somebody relatively cheerful, relatively happy, free, carefree, because why? Ishvara is protecting, that feeling is there. I don't have to do anything, I am surrendered to Ishvara, let Ishvara decide what I have to do. So relatively there is emotional growth, mental freedom and a certain kind of a cheerfulness. And then, so that's what happens. And then as a result, everybody wants a piece of this person. This is what is said. Laugh and the world will laugh with you. Cry and what will happen? You will cry alone. Elsewhere it's also said misery loves company, but that's not the kind of company you want to keep. This is not the kind of company you want to keep. So here the person, the one who does not complain and the one who does not want things from you all the time, as soon as they look at you, they think, okay, what shall I ask? What do I need right now? No, they don't want anything from you. They are able to relate freely, and such a person becomes a beloved person to all. Abhisamvanchanti. The Upanishad here is desperate to get you to see the importance of this mantra by offering all kinds of incentives. So even if you say, I don't want to say Namaha, forget 300 times, even one time, even 3 times I don't want to say Namaha. But then you ask the person, would you like to be popular? Sure, why not? Would you like to be wanted by everybody? Yes. Because this is what being Ishvara is like. The person is living like Ishvara. The person is, the antahkarana is erased from all kinds of strong ragas, dveshas, and so the person is free. Sarvani bhutani, not just people. Animals also sense. Animals also sense. They are more intelligent than us in certain ways. Animals also sense. Animals sense immediately. Is this person going to eat me, or is this person going to pet me? They immediately sense. And if they understand this person is going to eat me, they won't come close. They will go far away. And so, like this, we have heard that in ancient India, the animals would all converge in ashrams. The ashrams were usually located on the outskirts of a forest or in the forest, but then the forest also has hunters. All the royal family and everybody, what did they like to do? Go hunting. That was a sport. That was for entertainment. So what would the animals do? They would not even like to live so much in the forest. They would all come and live in the ashram. Why? The ashram is full of karma yogis. The ashram is full of sadhus, and they feel safe. They like to be around the sadhus because they feel safe. They don't feel in duress. They don't feel stressed. They don't feel distressed. And similarly, the people also around a person like this who is an upasaka, who has committed their whole life to understanding Bhagavan, who is totally surrendered to Bhagavan as a way of gaining this knowledge of Bhagavan as oneself, all the people just fall in love with that person, cannot help themselves. They always want to be around that person. So, sarvani bhutani abhisamvanchanti. And here the teacher thinks, I have taught so well, it is such a wonderful, so nice, everybody has listened. Now it is time for a coffee break. As soon as the teacher gets up to take a coffee break, there is a question. Let us read. Upanishadam bho bruhi ukta te upanishat brahmim vavate upanishadam abruma iti. Yeah. What is the question? A student wakes up. Wakes up means what were they doing previously? In Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And the student says, "Oh revered sir, oh revered teacher, please teach me the Upanishad." Upanishadam bho, bho means oh revered one, bruhi, teach me. It's like the teacher feels like the heart sinking into the stomach and getting digested also. Because class after class after class, everything has been unfolded with so much clarity and so much fun, with so much paradoxes and all these things, and the paradoxes have all been resolved because the paradoxes were as though the irony was for alankara to bring out this knowledge. Everything has been said, and this one fellow is like, please teach me the Upanishad. What should the teacher do? What would you feel like doing if you were the teacher in this situation? You would feel like asking, what were you doing till now? Where were you? But that is not the teacher of the Upanishad. The teacher of the Upanishad is very, very patient even with sleeping students. As one of Pujya Swamiji's teachers, Swami Taranandji's story attests. At least if there is a room full of people and a few people just are checked out and other few are asleep, it's enough. You have a little bit of a quorum to teach. There is some signs of life in the other few people, and then you can look at them and teach. No problem. But here, Swami Taranandaji was in the unenviable position of having only 2 students. One, our very own Pujya Swamiji, the other one shall remain unnamed. We don't even know who that was, but also a sannyasi. 2 sannyasis walking from over here where Pujya Swamiji's kutia was, which is currently called as photo gallery. It took me a long time to get adjusted to this to the new name as photo gallery, because here is where we would sit with him, here is where we would be with him like year after year, and so now to think of it as photo gallery was just a little bit of an adjustment. But that's exactly where his kutia was, and that's how the ashram was built also when it was built, to mark that place which was his tapo bhumi, which was his place of tapas for 8 or 9 years. And so then he used to walk from here to Kailas ashram, which I think you know where it is, and he used to walk there, and then we used to leave at 6 o'clock. The class was from 6:30 in the morning to 8 o'clock. So he used to reach at 6:30 and then the class would begin. And his co-student, as soon as the words Om Sahana Vavatu were said, he interpreted that to be his lullaby and right in front of the teacher would sleep. As soon as Purnamadaha Purnamidam, it was a wake-up call, and he would get up, gather his book, the book got enlightened, but not him. The book learnt the Brahma Sutra, not him. And Pujya Swamiji, while relating the story, would say, he would feel like cuffing him. He would say, come on, wake up. But even if he nudged him, he would just say, ha, and he would go to sleep. He would not wake up. Swami Taranandaji endured this for 18 months. He did not say anything. And then softly, he was a very mild-mannered man, very, very mild. Pujya Swamiji was so, extroverted and full of joy that was just emerging. He was like a calm ocean. Pujya Swamiji was like a roaring ocean. And very mild-mannered person. I will say this in Hindi and translate. He said, "ये सोने की बात नहीं है, ये सुनने की बात है." Very mildly he said, "This is not a matter for sleeping. This is a matter for listening. This subject matter is not for sleeping." And then that sadhu got insulted, got very upset about himself. Not insulted really, but got very upset, stopped coming after that day. And in a way it was good because there was no distraction really. So this is something that is there everywhere. So whether the student was sleeping or not, we don't know, but somehow was distracted enough. Maybe in those days, without our knowledge, smartphones were there, and the student was texting the whole time, the whole Upanishad, and did not know that the Upanishad had come, Mahavakya had come, Mahavakya had gone. He missed it completely, he or she missed it completely. And so therefore this request, Upanishadam bho bruhi, bruhi, please teach me now. There is an immediacy there, because he uses the lot, what is lot? Imperative mood. Teach me. Because he feels close to the teacher, he can say, teach me now. And so then the teacher, what does the teacher says very calmly, like Swami Tarananda ji, this teacher also must be belonging to the same genre, quietly says, Ukta te Upanishad. Oh dear fellow, I have taught you the Upanishad. This Upanishad has been already taught to you. Vava, indeed. Brahmim te Upanishadam abruma. Not any Upanishad. Upanishad connected to Brahman. So, Brahmani bhavaha Brahmi. So that which occurs, which is because of Brahman, which occurs as Brahman, which is understood as Brahman, that is called Brahmi. And why is it in feminine? Because it's qualifying the word Upanishad, which is also in feminine. Brahmim Upanishadam Abruma. So not only any ordinary Upanishad, the Upanishad revealing Brahman as you, I have taught to you, I have already taught. Now what is the reason for this question and answer? Adi Shankara gives many reasons. Two reasons are very important because the other reasons are also coming in under these two reasons. The first reason is that the Upanishad, out of kindness, acknowledges adhikari bheda, differences in the adhikaris, differences in the people who are qualified to study. We already saw one of them was very smart. What did he say? Naham manye suvedeti, no na vedeti vedacha, yonas tadveda, no na vedeti vedacha. I won't say I know the Brahman as an object. I won't say I don't know it at all. And in fact, whoever knows what I say from this statement, they also know this. He says, and then what else does he say? He says, Manye viditam, very quietly. I think Brahman is known, not as an object, it is known. And so we have that kind of a uttama adhikari, and here we also have another adhikari, even though we can't assume the student was asleep. Student may have been awake, but has not understood a single word. Happens, possible. And why? Because the preparation is not there. No, preparation is there. Preparation may be there, but still there is not so much. There is something resisting in the mind. The knowledge is boomeranging back to the teacher. The student is throwing back the knowledge or getting distracted, but somehow it's not going in. Even though there is jignasa, even though there is the desire to study, desire to learn is there, but the teaching is not going in. In certain Southeast Asian countries, we have the concept of a hungry ghost. These are the Pitrus, the ancestors who died away without getting their wishes fulfilled. So when we have Pitru Paksha, that fortnight they also do lot of offerings to the ancestors, but they include also the ancestors who perhaps committed suicide or who perhaps died in difficult situations without their wishes getting fulfilled. And they have the painting or the drawing of this hungry ghost, a needle-like throat and a huge belly. The huge belly symbolizes hunger, but the throat is a needle, meaning cannot take in. Hunger is there, but cannot take in the food. And so, for them the offerings are done, sometimes liquid offerings, things like that, which they can easily take, but this is highly symbolic. Highly symbolic because if one is like a hungry ghost, the hunger for the knowledge brings one to the teaching situation, brings one to the Guru, brings one to the Shastra even. But then the message of the Shastra is not internalized either fully or partially, is not internalized because of certain problems. Antahkarana related problems. And we have dwelt a lot on what those problems are, early childhood issues, which cast a pall on the person's ability to receive. Either one is mired in distrust, or one is mired in sorrow, or one is eclipsed by doubt, fear. So many things are there due to which the teaching is not received. So the first reason why this question is there and why this particular exchange is there between the teacher and the student is that the Upanishad in all her compassion concedes the fact that even though the teaching would be kindly and wonderfully given, it may not be understood. So something more is required. This is the first reason why this exchange is there. The second reason has not to do with dramatizing this situation, has nothing to do with a sleeping student or a lazy student or a student who is a non-listening student. It has to do with a pun on the word Upanishad itself. Upanishad means rahasya. Rahasya means a secret. And so the student perhaps understood some things but did not understand the Upanishad fully, and saw the teacher getting up and got worried. Oh my God, I don't think I can follow with this. I need something more. Upanishadam bho bruhi. Please teach me that secret through which, practicing which, imbibing which, following which, I can get to learn the Upanishad. I can be open to hearing the Upanishad. Please teach me that secret. Adi Shankara also gives this example, and he says, Adi Shankara says that this rahasya it's called rahasya. Certain, what is that? So in the first portion of the Vedas, which have nothing to do with the Upanishad, certain yajnas are also called what? Upanishad. Certain upasanas, meditations are also called Upanishad. And so, perhaps the student is asking for a further something to hang on to, like a takeaway. What is the takeaway here? What can I actually take with me, and what can I use to increase the assimilation of what has been taught? That is what perhaps the student is asking. So both the meanings can be are pertinent here, and both can be used. And in the case of the student asking for something more, whatever it is, whether the student did not get the Upanishad or whether the student got some of the Upanishad but is asking for more clarity on how to gain this knowledge, what kind of a temperament one must have, the teacher's answer helps both of them. Tasyai tapodamaha karmeti pratishtha Vedaha sarvangani Satyam ayatanam. Yeah. So the teacher goes to some concrete place of describing a beautiful goddess. Tasyai, for her alone. Who is this goddess? Upanishad. The Shastra here is presented as a goddess, and we saw that also with Haimavati Uma, the teacher of this Upanishad, also a goddess. So here, this Bhagavati in the form of the Upanishad, and for her alone, all these things that are described here are to be practiced. So if we look at the Upanishad in the form of the goddess, usually what happens? The head is Vedanta, usually. Head is Vedanta. Why? Because it is the most important part of the person, and the most important part of the Shastra is what? Vedanta. Head is Vedanta. And then what happens? Tasyai tapodamaha. So all the tapas, discipline, austerities, and restraint with regards to the sense organs and organs of action. Practicing a disciplined life is all tasyai, for her sake, for the sake of this knowledge. This knowledge is a goddess whose head is Vedanta, whose head is the Upanishad, and then whose head is Mahavakya, we can say, and tapas and damaha are to gain her. They become the yantras, they become the means, they become the ways to gain her. To gain her, to be one with her, I have to have a certain discipline. This Dhamma, Shama we have studied. So Dhamma means, again, Bahyendriya Nigraha Damaha iti uchyate. Bahyendriya Nigraha means mastering the organs of actions, mastering also the sense organs and the organs of action. That's why we are different from all animals for whom this mastery is not possible at all. What does the dog do? It feels like going and eating something, it will go and eat something. It feels like kicking somebody or biting somebody, it will bite. Donkey feels like kicking somebody, it will kick. It is not to blame. You are to blame for going near the donkey and standing within kicking range. So nobody will tell the donkey, why did you kick? They will ask you, what made you stand behind the donkey? Don't do that. And so this is but for the human beings, we have the free will to school our sense organs, to school our organs of action. And what for should this be done? For her sake, for the sake of this most holy, most sacred, most liberating knowledge, knowing which I am one with Ishvara, I am free. No longer I am a rebel without a cause. And no longer I am searching for this, that or the other, because knowing this knowledge knocks off the wanting person, the lacking person. Knowing this knowledge knocks off the me as the ahankara connected to the knower. No more is there this kind of a situation. I am free. And so for the sake of this knowledge, for the sake of assimilating this knowledge and being one with this knowledge, tapaha, some kind of a discipline, very important. Because if you school the body into a certain routine, in as much as people hate routines, it really helps people. The routine having to do with getting up in the morning, that's why the 3-month course, 6-month course, whatever it is, that it helps with that routine. Because at home you can just say, oh, I'm going to get up at 10 o'clock in the morning. What is going to stop me? And who is going to stop me? Nobody. And then you may say, what is wrong? Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong at all if that's the kind of, life you want. You are absolutely have a right to have that. No problem. But if you want this knowledge, you have to start somewhere disciplining the body, mind, sense complex. So here forcibly one wakes up. And even if you don't want to wake up, all the jangling of the temple bells will wake you up. Even if you say, even if you ignore all the alarms, the temple bells, there is something about it. It makes you feel slightly guilty. OMG, Arati is going on and I'm still in bed. What's wrong with me? Even if you're sick, there is a certain kind of a feeling, because it brings that out in one. It's very, very beautiful. And so then there is a certain time I wake up, there is a certain time I do certain things. Even though I'm free to eat, I'm free not to eat, I'm free to eat at 11 o'clock, I'm free to eat at 9 o'clock, I'm free to keep grazing the whole day long. No problem. But still, there is a certain thing that happens when the body is put on a diet of a routine. There is a lot of inner space that opens up for thinking freely, more freely. Even though I feel imprisoned in the beginning, I don't want to do this, I don't want to get up, I don't want to eat at this time, what is this? Why should I do this? But over time, it becomes this routine, and this discipline becomes a protector and saves one from sinking into the recesses of the unconscious mind, which is always coming up with this, that or the other. The routine helps also to channel the unconscious mind into a certain little time slot. There is a time slot for everything. There is a time slot for looking at difficult emotions. There is a time slot to act out. There is a time slot to be composed. There is a time for everything. And for this unconscious also I make the time slot. And here is the beauty of it, because when I make time for the unconscious, it does not bug me the whole day long. It does not hijack me from my pursuit. Therefore, the discipline and the routine help. And then tapaha also can mean namasmaranam or any kind of upasana, whatever I do for my own growth, it helps me. It does not help Ishvara. Saying Namaha and doing 108 names, Ishvara is not flattered. But one's own self is transformed. That is there. One's own self is totally transformed. Ishvara is not flattered as a result. And so, tasyai, for her sake, for the sake of this knowledge, for the sake of this Upanishad goddess, when I see, I want this knowledge, tapaha and damaha, shama, all this is there, shama, uparati, shraddha, titiksha, samadhanam, viveka, vairagya. Viveka, vairagya is nothing but internal emotional maturity and dispassion, objectivity. That's what it is. Viveka is maturity, and vairagya, dispassion, is objectivity. Those two things are also very important. And then karma iti, iti means etc. Karma here, iti here is not iti means adi. So what is this adi? You can bring in all the other things. And so karma here means karma yoga. Karma yoga asyaha devatayaha pratishtha. Pratishtha means the karma yoga is her legs. So we have a goddess here, the goddess of sadhana, whose head is the Upanishad Mahavakya, and to gain this knowledge of this goddess as the truth of myself, what do I need? Tapas and dhamma. And then what are her feet? Karma. Karma yoga here is the feet, is the foundation. The foundation for this knowledge is karma yoga. Do what you need to do after bringing Ishvara into your life. Let Ishvara be the initiator of all actions. Let Ishvara be the giver of the results of action. And you learn to gradually accept the results of action with a cheerful temperament. That is the idea. Prasada buddhi, cheerful temperament. You are in a place of saying yes rather than no, no, no all the time. The 2-year-old starts off the language. So sometimes the first word is no. That's what the child says, because it's in a complete rebellion mode. It doesn't know any better. As I mature, all the no's turns into yes, 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 yes. Very, very important. Important sign of growth when the number of yes outnumbers my nose. Not nose, okay? N-O-S. So, when the number of yeses outnumbers my nose, I know that I am growing. It's a hallmark of growth. It's a sign of growth. I'm no longer afraid to say yes. Before I'm afraid to say yes. No is a sign of defensiveness, protection. And the Kenopanishad tells us, na kaschit gopaitum ichhati. The person of knowledge does not need to protect anything. Does not need to protect the body, does not need to defend the mind, does not need to defend anything at all. Does not need to protect anything. And so similarly here, the Karma Yoga helps one to grow exponentially. And Karma Yoga is best practiced at home. Ashrams also you can practice, but very easy to practice at home. Because you're doing the karma not for the sake of the results, but for your own growth. And in fact, as a result, you live in harmony with everybody. And if you get a little irritated, they will themselves say, please go to the ashram, attend one more retreat. Go and come back, it will help you. Because they are benefiting from your study. All the family members are benefiting from your study. The friends are benefiting from your study. You become somebody like the person in the last mantra, the Sarvani Bhutani Yaha Abhisamvanchanti. They all want to be with this person. You become like that. And then, so karma iti pratishtha, Vedaha sarvangani. All her limbs, all her hands are the way. She has 4 hands, which are what? The four Vedas, the Purva Bhagas of the Vedas are her hands. And this is what it is, the first portion of the Vedas, which puts you on a diet of dharma. They are her hands. They are her hands. And then what? Satyam. Satyam here is Satya Bhashanam, one meaning. Satyam Ayatanam. Ayatanam means Satyam is her abode. Satyam is where she lives. And so, or you can say Satyam is the road to reach her. To reach her, Ayatanam, Satyam is the goal, she is the goal, she is the destiny, and to reach her, what is there? Satya Bhashanam is needed. Truth telling. Because it's very easy to lie when one is afraid. Nobody lies because they want to lie. One lies out of helplessness, one lies out of fear. And that's why a connection with Ishvara, a relationship with Ishvara is very, 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 very important, because this fear and this kind of trying to protect oneself from some harm is gone. So one can boldly tell the truth, even if that truth is going to be putting oneself in jeopardy. One can tell the truth, one can be honest. So then, Satyam Ayatanam, another meaning of the word Satyam is Sadvastu. That Vastu itself is the road, that Vastu is the destination, and this is how you gain this knowledge. And so the secret means, why is it secret? I'll tell you. The means to gain this knowledge is given to the student, but then the word Upanishad means Rahasya. Rahasya means secret. These are all things we learn in Tattva Bodha, we learn this in Viveka Chudamani. What is the secret about Karma Yoga? What is the secret about Shama, Dhamma, etc.? There is a very big secret. Most of the time we don't know how the routine, how the Shama, Dhamma, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam, how the Karma Yoga is going to help me gain the knowledge. We don't know. Look at our Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. He doesn't, for the life of him, he cannot understand the connection between fighting the war and moksha. He doesn't see. That's why it's a secret. That's why it's a secret, because that connection is not known. Why? Because there is so much obfuscation. The whole head is eclipsed by the unconscious mind, so one cannot easily see the connections. So if I fight this war, I'm going to get moksha. How is this even possible? What is the connection? War is himsa, war leads to pillage and plundering and lot of dead bodies. I don't want that. I want moksha. Why can't I just become a sadhu? Why can't I just follow this knowledge? Why do I have to do this? In order to get this knowledge, nobody understands. And that is why it's a secret. That's why even before we understand, sometimes we have to follow it. Then only the understanding will come slowly. That's why it's a secret. And there is a verse we saw in the second chapter. When was the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita studied? In the last life. So we saw a verse. What was the verse? Ascharyavat pashyati kashchidenam, Ascharyavat vadati kechid anyaha, Ascharyavat cha enam shrunoti. And so some people talk about this in wonder. Some people teach about this in wonder. This is all a big wonder. Some people listen to this in wonder. And then the greatest wonder of all is what? Shrutvapi na veda kashchit. Even if you teach them, they don't know. That's why it's a secret. Even if you teach them, they still don't understand. Therefore, it's a secret. The Upanishad that itself is a secret. And this Upanishad, the means to gain that Upanishad, sometimes is also a secret, because even after studying the whole Upanishad, the person says, oh, why should I do all this? This has nothing to do with gaining knowledge. Knowledge I have to gain. Why are you asking me to get up early? Knowledge I have to gain. Why do I need to have a routine? So that is the secret here. That is what has to be first followed in order to understand the connection, and then that gap is bridged. Now concluding, because the teacher is worried that more such questions will come. So quickly the teacher is concludes here. Yo vai etam eva veda apahatya papmanam apahatya papmanam anante swarge loke ज्येये प्रतितिष्ठति So यह va, meaning the one who, यह vai, the one who etam eva veda, knows this in this manner. All the things that we have talked about, shrotrasya shrotram manaso mano yat, all this, the one that knows in this manner, apahatya papmanam, transcending, shaking off all the papas. What is the connection between this knowledge and all the papas going? Because the papas go, all the difficult things which I regret, all the things I wish I had not done, they go away. Why do they go away? Because the karta is falsified. This knowledge falsifies the doer. And if the doer is falsified, whatever the account standing in the name of the doer is also falsified. Very simple it is. It's like a dead person's bank account. Where will the money go? If supposing they have not willed it to anybody, they suddenly passed away, and then there is all this money in the bank, it's just there. It belongs to nobody. It doesn't belong to that person because that person is no longer alive. It's like a dead person standing for election. The person stood for election and then what? Died before the voting happened, and it was too late to take away the name. And then people were frustrated with all the other candidates. Everybody gave this person only the vote, and that person became victorious. Where is that person? No more in this realm. Like that, all the papas standing in my account, sanchita, agami karma, sanchita karma, and what else is there? Prarabdha, all goes away. This we'll study at length in the Mundakopanishad, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. How they go away means because the karta is gone, and so there is nobody to own up the papa. Apahata papmanam. Then what happens? Apahata papmanam, having washed away, shaken off all the papa, swarge loke jyeye. Jyeyaha means the highest, most worshipful, Swarge loke. What is this Swarga loka? Brahma loka. Brahma eva loka. Highest loka, endless loka, anante loke, Swarge loke, Jaya loke. So Swarga here also means the place of happiness. The place of happiness, the place of most exalted Brahman, which is oneself. The person is Pratitishthati, is fully established. When? Always. So there is a misprint, I think. The same word is repeated twice. No misprint, no redundancy. In those days, the knowledge was all in the head. How do you indicate that a chapter is finished or something is finished? You repeat the last word, Pratitishthati, Pratitishthati, or sometimes we say Pratitishthati iti. Iti means thus, meaning that it is over. This is how we do that. But the knowledge is never over, is it? No. So therefore, in the Shastra, we will always chant the first mantra again. Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha kena pranaha prathamah praiti yuktaha keneshitam vachamimam vadanti chakshushrotram ka udevo yunakti. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi